Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. So we will be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita. As Gaur Purnima is coming, so we'll discuss from about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Adi Lila, 4th chapter, shloka number 56. 1.4.56. Radha Krishna ek atma dui deha dhari, अन्योन्ये विलासे रस आस्वादन करी. राधा कृष्ण एक आत्मा दुई देह धरी, अन्योन्ये विलासे रस आस्वादन करी. राधा कृष्ण एक आत्मा दुई देह धरी, अन्योन्ये विलासे रस आस्वादन करी. Anyone would like to recite? राधा कृष्ण एक आत्मा दुई देह धरी, अन्योन्ये विलासे रस आस्वादन. We go ahead with synonyms and translation. Radha Krishna, Radha and Krishna. Eka one, Atma self, Dui two, Deha bodies, Dhari assuming, any Anyonye one another, Vilase they enjoy, Rasa the mellows of love, Aswadan Kari tasting. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanadin, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Radha and Krishna are one and the same, but they have assumed two bodies. Thus, they enjoy each other, tasting the mellows of love. The two transcendentalists, Radha and Krishna, are a puzzle to materialists. The above description of Radha and Krishna from the diary of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami is a condensed explanation. But one needs great spiritual insight to understand the mystery of these two personalities. One is enjoying in two. Sri Krishna is the potent factor and Srimati Radharani is the internal potency. According to the Vedanta philosophy, there is no difference between the potent and the potency. They are identical. We cannot differentiate between one and the other, any one more than we can separate fire from heat. Everything in the absolute is inconceivable in relative existence. Therefore, in relative cognizance, it is very difficult to assimilate this truth of the oneness between the potent and the potency. The philosophy of inconceivable oneness and difference propounded by Lord Chaitanya is the only source of understanding for such intricacies of transcendence. In fact, Radharani is the internal potency of Sri Krishna, and she eternally intensifies the pleasure of Sri Krishna. Impersonalists cannot understand this without the help of a Mahabhagavata devotee. The very name Radha suggests that Srimati Radharani is eternally the topmost mistress of the comforts of Sri Krishna. As such, she is the medium transmitting the living entities service to Sri Krishna. Devotees in Vrindavan therefore seek the mercy of Srimati Radharani in order to be recognized as loving servitors of Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally approaches the fallen conditioned souls of the Iron Age to deliver the highest principle of transcendental relationship with the Lord. The activities of Lord Chaitanya are primarily in the role of pleasure-giving portion of his internal potency. The absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the omnipotent form of transcendental existence, knowledge and bliss in full. His internal potency is exhibited first as Sat or existence, or in other words, as the portion that expands the existence function of the Lord. When the same potency displays full knowledge, it is called Chit or Samvit, which expands the transcendental forms of the Lord. Finally, when the same potency plays as a pleasure-giving medium, it is known as Lahadini, or the transcendental blissful potency. Thus, the Lord manifests his internal potency in three transcendental divisions. Is it being streamed live? For congregation devotees? So they are online. So we'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in Prakash, time till 8:50, no? Or 9 with question answer. Hare Krishna. So I would like to seek the blessings of all my spiritual teachers, from whomever I have learned till now the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhakti scriptures, and also would like to thank Swayam Prakash Prabhu for giving this opportunity to share on the external and internal reasons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, and along with that some pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I hope my sound is decent amidst the thundering. So I just saw one lecture of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, which he gave in Hyderabad last year on Gaur Purnima Day. From him, I just thought of taking the 3 reasons external and 3 internal. And then I heard one lecture of His Grace Gauranga Prabhu. He gave 2020 in the topic of 3 qualities which one can develop from 3 pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll try to learn something from that for our personal application. So this verse I just chose so that we understand what is the difference or what is understanding between Radharani's Tattva and Lord Sri Krishna, which can further help us to understand about the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's reason for coming here. So out of the 3 external reasons, the main reason being cited is call of Advaita Acharya, who is non-different from Mahavishnu and Lord Shiva, because the situation which was there at that time was filled with Mayavadis, and people were quite lost from the original understanding and worshipping the Lord. So seeing the precarious, there are so many Apasampradayas which were there, and especially Mayavadi was very much prominent, and Advaita Acharya saw that only Lord's presence can solve this problem. So how can I call Lord? So at the bank of Ganges, he was doing the worship, the Ganges with Tulasi, and he very earnestly call out the Lord's holy names, which obliged the Lord to come. So this is one of the most important external reasons for which the Lord comes. And the other reason which is mentioned, the external reason is to propagate Yuga Dharma, which is incidental. Initially, when I was there, I was thinking, oh, this is the most important reason to spread Harinam Sankirtan. But then we understood that it is just an incidental reason why the Lord is there, to spread the Yuga Dharma and to give Prema Bhakti of Radha and Krishna. So this is another unique feature of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which offers the topmost thing to the Kali-yuga Vasis, who are supposedly to be the least progressed in spiritual life compared to 4 yugas. So the topmost thing to the most less qualified people. So this is the Mahavadanya nature of the Lord, who is giving the Raga Marga or Prema Bhakti of Radha and Krishna, which probably no Acharya came and gave. They gave descriptions of Sitaram, worship to Sitaram. We can learn how to be a good human being of moral, or maximum Lakshmi Narayan worship. But nobody came to give Radha Krishna Prema, which was given only by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this was the external reasons for the Lord to come. And the internal reasons of the Lord are again 3, which is to know the greatness of Srimati Radharani, that how Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is the topmost. There is 5 rasas, as we all know, in the spiritual world, the 5 primary rasas, which are there: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Amongst these 5, which is the topmost? Madhurya rasa. So even the 4 rasas, they are aware of this, that Madhurya rasa is the topmost. But even in Madhurya rasa, there are 2 categories. There is Swakiya ras and Parakiya ras. Means Swakiya, where as we see in this material world, the attraction between a boy and girl, you know, before marriage especially, there is so much eagerness to meet each other. So Prabhupada gives such an example, that how a girlfriend is attracted to a boyfriend or vice versa. Similarly, it gives a glimpse of what is a relationship, but it is very pure in nature. So here, the Radharani's love is even more greater than the love of Swakiya and Parakiya. Even amongst Parakiya ras, which is without marriage, or girl and boy is attracted, there are many other gopis who are also in the similar rasa. But amongst all this, rasa, the conjugal rasa or the madhurya rasa, Radharani's love is considered to be the topmost. So to understand this, one sannyasi was telling in his lecture that Lord is omniscient, correct? Omnipotent, omniscient, what is that? Present. But he knows what is going on in the heart or mind of a mosquito also. But he doesn't know that what kind of happiness is Srimati Radharani experiencing just by serving me or worshipping me. So to experience this, to experience the great nature of Srimati Radharani, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes form, which is none different from Lord Krishna, but in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So this is one internal reason for what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. Another reason is to experience his own sweetness. So many devotees are very happy serving me. Let me see what is there, so much nectar in me. Because if one man, lotus has to understand that how great a lotus I am, he has to go outside the lotus and only understand. A lotus itself cannot understand how great the lotus is. Similarly, Lord Krishna had to take another form to understand his own sweetness. So this was another reason why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, the internal reason. And to know the conjugal rasa which Radharani is experiencing. So this is little quite close to the first reason, to understand the greatness of Srimati Radharani and to understand the experience of conjugal rasa which Radharani is experiencing. These are two different reasons, but almost appearing the same. And the third one is to experience the sweetness. So, although this is a very, very deep concept, and even Srila Prabhupada, whenever he used to Shri Jagannath Balbhadra Sudamai ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Vasaram Bhavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. So I don't feel comfortable to go in details of this, as Srila Prabhupada and great devotees also, they, when Radha Ashtami lecture was going on, so Prabhupada glorified Krishna on the day of Radharani's appearance day. And at last he told one line, such a great Krishna, he is also being attracted by Srimati Radha. Radha Ashtami Maha Mahotsav ki jai. So we need to understand that how these topics are very great and elevated, and we need to hear from very pure devotees, exalted devotees, and to whatever extent Prabhupada has been given in his purports of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So keeping this in mind, we'll try to discuss some lessons which we can draw of some pastimes which I heard from Gaurang Prabhu's lecture. So there are the three aspects. Number one is overcoming resistance to bhakti. While progressing in our bhakti path, there are so many resistance, obstacles which may be coming in following it ideally. So we learn this from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dealings with Gadadhar Pandit. Second is assisting devotees, learning to assist devotees, which we learn from Mahaprabhu's dealings with Nityananda Prabhu. And lastly, if we have overcome our resistance and now we are assisting devotees, so then we should be persistent in our bhakti. So after overcoming resistance and assisting the devotees. So in Jagannath Puri, when Gadadhar Pandit, we know that at Tota Gopinath temple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear from Gadadhar Pandit Srimad Bhagavatam again and again, almost hundreds of times. Dhruva Maharaj pastime and Prahlad Maharaj pastime. So time came when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was wanting to travel to Vrindavan, and he was making all the plans. But Gadadhar Pandit expressed his desire. No, I also wish to travel with you. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, how can you travel? You have taken Kshetra Sannyas. You serve Gopinath. Yeah, you should. That is your major obligation. Then Gadadhar Pandit was giving counter arguments. That to serve your lotus feet means to serve 1 million times Radha Gopinath or Tota Gopinath over there. So that was the argument given by Gadadhar Pandit. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not very impressed with this argument, with what he gave. So do not, if we do not follow the instructions, then the associate or the servant, he kind of rejects the authority of his master over him. So Gadadhar Pandit told that you are traveling from one path. Further, Gadadhar Pandit doesn't stop from so-called argument. Obviously, this is a pastime, but he continues to tell Mahaprabhu, I understand that I have to do my service, and if I come with you, people may also blame you that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took away Gadadhar Pandit. But what we'll do, we will do on one idea. You go from this path, I will go from another path. So then the people will not come to know. We both will join at a distance, and nobody will come to know, and nobody will tell that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took me, Gadadhar Pandit. So sometimes disciples, they have decided something in their mind, and they just want Guru to give their permission. So once a disciple was telling his spiritual master who was serving in abroad, he had to go for some visit. So, Guru Maharaj, I heard you are going abroad and nobody is coming with you. So I was just wondering how you manage cooking. Uh, oh, I cook myself sometimes, or in case some devotees are there, I take their help. Otherwise, nobody as such is there in charge to help me in my cooking. Oh, I know little bit cooking, Guru Maharaj. If you feel I can help you, I can also come with you and travel with you. No, that should not be required. You can stay back and serve here. There is requirement here that will be good for you. Okay, thank you, Guru Maharaj. He went back. Then Guru Maharaj went, he did his traveling preaching, and he came back. And after 1 year, he was again going back to abroad. Then this disciple of his came again. Guru Maharaj, I heard that you are going again abroad. I was just wondering how you are managing your preaching engagements. You require some assistance. Is there anybody to help you? No, as such, nobody is there. But I try to manage whomever help I get. I was thinking, if you don't mind, I can come. I know little driving car. I can help you in your assistance. 1 year back, somebody asked me to come for cooking, and again you are asking, hey, you are the only one. You came again. So then, no, I told you should be here. It is good for you. And then he told, no need to come. This disciple again went to this Guru Maharaj after few months, telling that Guru Maharaj, I have decided to get married to one of your disciples who is staying in foreign country. Hey, why you are deciding to marry a foreign lady? I will search for you Indian lady. It is better for you to search Indian lady. You had problems with opposite sex before also. Please don't take such a step. Be satisfied. No, Guru Maharaj, I have decided. After all, she is a devotee on game. So such back and forth. This disciple is not at all surrendered. We can easily see he has decided something, and just namesake he is using his Guru Maharaj for getting his proposals sanctioned. So in our case also, as we see here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is clearly depicting that one who doesn't follow wholeheartedly the instructions given and tries to make out ways. Some of them have decided only, and Guru Maharaj, please give blessings. I'm going abroad. Acha, you never told me when you decided for what you are going. Guru Maharaj, ticket is booked. Another 1 week I'm going, but I thought I'll take your blessings. Then what is left now? If ticket is booked, then you have come here. So this kind of spirit is not at all very appreciative. Two assets are there: service and the vow which a disciple takes. Nothing else remains if this is taken away. If service is taken away from the disciple, or the vow which he is taken away, then the disciple is almost fallen. He may be initiated disciple, but Prabhupada has rejected also those who have not followed his instruction even after initiation. So Gadadhar Pandit, hearing these arguments or opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, goes back to Jagannath Puri. So uh, 1 year back, 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 1 year ba Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions that devotees were willing to give up everything to be with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not accept this, and anyone deviating from the service. Service is the main aspect. A few days back, when His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj had also come, few years back, I think 3-4, I was telling that many devotees, sometimes I see they're very fond of yatras. They want to go sometimes 2-3-4 yatras in a year. Initially, it may be good till a person is very new, he has never gone, and if he has time. But eventually, after becoming established, having visited and heard, one yatra per year should be sufficient, maximum two. But sometimes he was telling himself his experience. I see so many devotees in 1 year, they are there in 3 different places. So he was telling the main service is the place where Guru has told us to serve, not that just we keep roaming in the yatras or be with devotees. Sometimes people keep changing the temples. Yeah, if the job is there, surely that need is to be fulfilled, but otherwise one should stick to one place and give more importance to service. You must follow the service, and that will be insisted by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that will bring you all auspiciousness. That was his advice. So rebelling and not following instruction is the resistance for our bhakti. The first what we discussed. How to overcome this? Should be following Vaishnava Seva and Lord's will. We should be very much ready. What is the Lord's will coming through the Vaishnavas? We should be very much ready to do this. And what comes in between this is our false arguments, our tendency to always put our own understanding towards the counselor, or doubting whether my counselor is really well-wishing for me, or he is utilizing me for his own projects, etc. Such faith, when he is not there, then you will not be able to take the correct shelter from the counselor. You should have such a person whom you have really faith, and such a person only you can abide by these instructions. You should have real feeling for him. It is not a very artificial relationship. Our own false pride can make us resistant to follow the instructions, and lack of discrimination. What is good, what is bad, lack of sattva guna will not always, it will keep in confusion whether should I go and serve here or should I take up these services. So unless we do not overcome this resistance by cultivating these 4 attitudes which Prabhu was telling, what are the 4 attitudes to overcome this resistance? Number 1, cultivate good qualities in oneself by seeing from others. If somebody is able to follow his superior nicely, then let us learn from him. And understand that secondly, that nobody is perfect. Sometimes the counselees or the subordinates, they see that my counselor doesn't know this particular thing, or he is not doing like this. So they pull out one mistake, and they have a very idealistic view towards the superiors. Okay, this is the particular mistake. So then they are not able to follow. So His Grace Aisham tells we should not see our superior, our counselor, our guides to be idealistic or pure devotee. When we see a pure devotee in him, then we will be in problems to follow his instructions. So this can help us to overcome the resistance to follow his instructions, and learning to see Krishna in others. When it may not be with only superiors, but even if they equals. Once I heard a definition of, not definition, but an aspect of gratitude, in which Nanda Maharaj is asking that what should we do? Krishna has been attacked. So he tells that this is a situation in Gokul. So immediately Upananda, his brother, tells we should leave to Vrindavan and go to Vrindavan from Gokul. Within 1 hour, the whole village was wrapped up. So gratitude is not only just thank you or words, but actions. So similarly, when we learn to see Krishna in others, we'll be grateful in their association, and we'll be able to follow them cooperatively with each other. And plan of Krishna being behind everything. Some things are going out of our control. Just learn to see that Krishna is under control, not he. Sometimes things may not go the way we want. So in this way, we can cultivate these 4 attitudes, cultivating good qualities in ourselves by watching others who are having it, understanding that nobody is perfect, don't have idealistic vision amongst devotees or superiors, especially learning to see Krishna in others, especially equals, to gel with them, to be cooperative with them, and plan of Krishna behind everything. if something is not going right. So this attitude will help us to overcome the resistance. And he also mentioned that we have to develop higher taste. Things will remain austere till the time we are doing things grudgingly. We will not be able to tell no to the sense gratification. But when we will have higher taste, when we start doing things willingly, out of our own interest, not grudgingly. Senior ने बोला है सेवा करना है, ठीक है. No, I want to do the seva. It is my privilege. It is my fortune that I am getting a seva. Till that attitude doesn't come, this higher taste, it will be always in a resistance mode. The bhakti path will appear little painful. Although it is susukham kartum avyayam, but it will be painful. Why painful? Not because the service has come or many service has come, because our attitude is not perfect. So unless the attitude is refined by such nice aspects, then we will be able to tell whatever is being done, told, we will be able to do that. So that was one thing which we learned from Gadadhar Pandit's pastime. Coming to Nityanand Prabhu's dealings with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityanand Prabhu was requested by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to stay in West Bengal to preach and not to come every year for yatra to Jagannath. Amazing, very tough. Nityanand Prabhu is so attracted to Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu is requesting that can you stay back and preach? Because I cannot preach to everybody. I am a sannyasi. I can preach maximum to Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, Keshav Kashmiri, Prakash Anand Saraswati. His preaching was class preaching, Shrestha preaching. But mass preaching, oh Nityanand Prabhu, you only can do. Because you are a grahastha, you can go to beer bars inside and spread the holy name. I can't do this. So this was a unique position of Nityanand Prabhu. So Lord requested him to preach there for even during the festival times. So to overcome resistance and follow the instructions given by the devotees, so there are three types of aspects mentioned here. There are three types of gopis who used to do that is Parama Preshtha, Priya Preshtha, 64 types, Parama Preshtha are 8, and Prana Sakhi. Only for Radharani's pleasure, this gopis they live. So how to bring Radha and Krishna together? That was their only focus. Amongst gopis also there are three types here mentioned. So these Prana Sakhis are the topmost. They are extremely determined to keep Radharani happy. How to bring Radha Krishna together and keep Srimati Radharani very happy. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered to be Mahavadanyaya. He has been assisted by Goswamis who were very much in the mood of how Nityanand Prabhu was serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They had given up everything to just carry out the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of excavating Vrindavan. So they were very instrumental. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, apart from you, Nityanand Prabhu, nobody can do these services. So desire to follow these instructions, empowerment occurs. So one statement I heard which was very inspiring to me, that how to assist the devotees, like how Nityanand Prabhu is able to follow tough instructions. When the desire to serve is more than the capacity, then empowerment occurs. When empowerment is something which is above our capacity, above our control, something higher powers come and help us. So that is empower from our seniors, from our guru, from our devotees, from the holy names, from the scriptures. So as we see, the scriptures are revealed scriptures. To the degree our attitude is good, to that degree the scriptures will reveal. Similarly, here we see that if our service attitude is very high, then the empowerment will occur. And yeah, Lord is very attractive and we want to serve all of us. But the Lord who is present within the heart of a devotee will help us reciprocate unless we don't serve the devotees. So if we want to follow in the footsteps of Nityananda Prabhu, then we also should learn not only to serve our counselor or our Guru Maharaj, but all the devotees whom we are staying, because they will be happy if we are able to serve our equals. Not that, oh, तेरे से क्या लेना देना, मैं मेरे गुरु से और मेरे काउंसलर वो मेरे से खुश है, काम खत्म. मैं मेरी दुनिया में, आप अपनी दुनिया में. नहीं, we have to also equally cooperate with each other. Then Guru will be really, because he wants to know how we are cooperating with each other. So yeah, if it becomes easy, if we have emotions and feelings for devotees, like Srila Prabhupada did this. He always appreciated all the devotees, even though he saw the hippies were very, very fallen, but he saw some spark in them when that person came to put the toilet paper in the bathroom. So he saw some minute things and evoked fire of Krishna consciousness in them. So we also need to learn this art of appreciating all the devotees, recognize their excellence whenever they did something good. Prabhupada always appreciated. It is said, if you see something good, it is illegal to keep in your heart. Immediately you should appreciate. So we should learn at least to glorify some devotees at least once or twice in a day. That habit should come. Not superficially to gain something from them, but heartily, genuinely. This credit giving mentality. Also used to give credits. While killing Jarasandha. Like that, Krishna was giving credit to Bhishma for convincing Yudhishthira. Similarly, if we have this credit giving mentality to devotees, then we will be able to assist them very nicely, being humble. And Prabhupada gave creative freedom. He never did micromanagement. He made some instructions, he clarified, and then he gave freedom for devotees to execute it. So he gave a creative freedom and tolerated when they did mistakes. When we give freedom to our juniors who are on ground, they may do some mistakes, but no problem. Tolerate the mistakes and keep empowering them. So Srila Prabhupada got a complaint not doing perfect chanting. So Prabhupada told that many of your disciples are not perfectly chanting. Some Vedic mantras in some program. So some local people complain. So Prabhupada told they are still practicing. Don't worry, they will come up. Like that, we have to understand that Vaishnavera guna grahi. He only sees the guna of the devotees, not faults. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes to Madan Gopal and asks, how can I accomplish this instruction which has come for me to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita? But because this instruction has come, I want to do justice. I want to do some justice because devotees have requested. Sometimes the instructions will be very tough, but we need to pray and have this attitude to carry out as much as possible the instructions. The more difficult to follow the word of God is to follow the will of Vaishnava. More difficult to follow the will of Vaishnava. Sometimes it becomes, oh, Lord is there on the altar, he is smiling. He never gives a reaction if he is angry. But here devotee becomes angry. So sometimes we develop distance from the devotee. But we have to see that if we, through him only, if we have to approach the Lord, and how we can serve him in spite of some differences which are happening. So Srila Prabhupada wanted one devotee to be become president. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely handled this situation. He wanted one devotee to be president. He knew this fellow will not agree if I tell him to become president. So what he did, he called him. So and so, Prabhu, you have to take sannyas. Sannyas? I have a small kid. I just now got married. How I can become sannyas? No. That is okay. Many have taken. You can also take. I am there with. No, Prabhupada. But just I have married and I have done this. And then he was telling no. And finally, Prabhupada, okay, become president of the temple. So like this, tactfully, we need to also handle with devotees. In case we have to serve them, assist them. If we are having good service attitude, Krishna will give us intelligence. And in assisting, there are 8 types of prajalpa which we should avoid. At least few of them we can discuss. What are the 8 types of prajalpa which we should avoid? Bhakti Vinod Thakur analyzes this. Number 1 is useless talks. Spending time with materialistic people or talking materialistic things. Now I'm trying to use a smartphone for some things like Telegram or Zoom and avoiding WhatsApp, because WhatsApp means again and again there is tendency to see. At least to minimize, even seniors have advised, I'm trying to minimize. But then there is YouTube there. And to search some lecture, if I am searching YouTube, other news are also coming, this materialistic news. So sometimes I get carried away. So I can very much see that there is a tendency to get carried away because of lack of Krishna consciousness. Because if we are soaked with Krishna consciousness, we will not tend to get carried away in other things. But we have to be very careful. Otherwise, Prajalpa can come in any form. Arguments, wasting time agitates the mind. It should be replaced by Srimad Bhagavatam talks. Acharyas also give explanation about this, that to develop good relationships, don't talk about Bhagavatam only in Bhagavatam class. Even in normal conversation, talk something about Krishna consciousness. At least consciously try, and it will become a habit. If we do this, this is a very potent way of developing relationships. And if this is very strong, management will become very easy. And that is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to focus on the spiritual aspects. And that is how things were very good for him. He could gather lakhs of devotees within an hour when he had to attack or confront Chand Khazi. Within few hours, he could gather lakhs of people. How? There was no mic system, no WhatsApp, nothing. Because of the feeling for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which devotees had in Navadvip. So gossiping is there, establishing one's own reputation. This tendency is very strong. As I told, credit-taking mentality, debating, fault-finding, falsehood, worldly talks, and blaspheming others. If one does this, then his mind will be really uncontrolled, and there won't be any chance of assisting and devotees, and maybe committing offenses also. So once resistance is removed, we are assisting. Now what we have to do? We have to persist. Now we have to persist doing this. So for this example of Raghunath Das Goswami is given. That Raghunath Das Goswami was not told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to immediately quit the home and join him in the mission. But what did Mahaprabhu tell Raghunath Das Goswami? Maintain the spirit internally, and externally you do all the services which are required to take care of the parents. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, this utsaha is very good. But if one doesn't have dhairya, patience, then that is passion. Utsaha without dhairya will lead into passion. And dhairya without utsaha is ignorance. One should not only have patience and no utsaha. So combination of two. That is why the definition of enthusiasm is given. Endeavoring with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Outside also we can endeavor with intelligence, but in Krishna consciousness is utsaha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling Raghunath Das Goswami, you should stay back at home and maintain the spirit internally, maintain your utsaha, at the same time have patience, and then with this you will one day will surely come. Be ready, go home, continue practicing, have internally conscious and more than external. But Raghunath Das Goswami was telling, when will I get such a chance? Family responsibilities are so much there. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, fundamentally requirement for persistence is there. It requires faith in Krishna. When appropriate time will come, everything will be revealed. When appropriate time will come to join me. And Krishna is the real protector. He will guide you. How it can happen? When will I come to Puri? All guards are surrounding me. He could have given up because the security was very tight for Raghunath Das Goswami not to escape. So many times such situations come that there is no hope. I'm endeavoring for this project. Preaching is becoming difficult. But if we persist even in tough times, then Lord will surely help with the guidance of devotees to click when appropriate time will come. So that is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired. And finally, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, if Krishna has decided that you have to meet me and you have to join me, nobody can stop you, Raghunath Das Goswami. So then finally, what happens? Raghunath Das Goswami meets Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who initially chastises him. You are a thief trying to meet Mahaprabhu without my permission. So he gives punishment of Chidadahi. In this form, we see that Lord is directing us to first take permission of the Guru. Unless and until Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take Diksha from Ishwara Puri, he never manifested his ecstatic pastimes of Sankirtana. He was just like a grammarian. Even one can be such a very scholarly person. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Nimai Pandit, but he could not get devotion to Krishna. He externally, at least, internally he was, but externally, to show the world that unless we get the mercy of the Lord, the Guru, we cannot serve Lord nicely. So in this form, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us through Raghunath Das Goswami how to be persistent by remaining enthusiastic within, having patience, and at the same time having faith in the Lord that proper time will come and we will be able to serve by the direction of Guru. So, after getting the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami runs to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meditating on the lotus feet. So this demonstrates the persistence of Raghunath Das Goswami in serving the Lord. So for persistence, what we need to do? So there are 5 things given by Prabhu. Number 1, we should not endeavor or do any service for our own happiness. When the motive itself is wrong to do service, then you will not be able to persist for a long time. Anybody, if he is doing a service for a long, continuous, very much long period of time, we should understand he is doing it selflessly. The more the person is selfless, the more his service is enduring for a long period. Number 2, one should not be doing service in distress, as we already discussed, in a grudging mode. One has to rectify this by sadhana. Be satisfied in one's position. भगवान ने जो भी हमको दिया है, जो situation दिया है, जो temple दिया है, जो abilities दिया है, whichever inspiration is given, be satisfied with that and try to do your best. And if Lord is pleased, he will improve the situation, whichever is required. We see that Krishna gave the potency to Arjuna to fight. Otherwise, Arjuna was not able to win the war. And after Krishna left, Arjuna lost the battle in front of the cowherd men. He was defeated. It was only Krishna's potency. So whatever wonderful we are able to do, it is by Krishna's mercy. And if we need to do much more, then Krishna will give us the required empowerment. Bhakti should be done with enthusiasm. If we are not enthusiastic, then act enthusiastic till the time enthusiasm comes. That is austerity. But you need to do, if we just do, like when we went to Belgaum recently, we saw in Mangalarti, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj is practically coming and each and every devotee is making his hands up and making them dance. Then 2-3 times we saw this, and then in the meeting we appreciated, I was just appreciating Maharaj, this was very inspiring that you are practically coming and inspiring devotees. Yeah, otherwise Mangalarti becomes so dull. People are just like this. Hare Krishna. Mangalarti means it should be enthusiastic. I want that all the devotees, they are dancing. And he does the major, our Gaudiya Vaishnava style step, not like roaming and, rotating too much, but very much simple. He told, yeah, others are okay. But this is our Gaudiya Vaishnava style. And he will be also dancing. So he is trying to make devotees enthusiastic every time coming. So we should act enthusiastically in case we are not feeling, and slowly enthusiasm will come. And serve with tolerance. Difficulties are going to come, but if we continue serving, what is this verse given in Srimad Bhagavatam? Tatre nukampa susamikshamano bhunjan evatma kritam vipakam ridvagvapurbi vidhan namaste jive tayo muktipade sadaya bhag. Continuing serving with toleration, tolerating our own reactions. If one goes on, he becomes the rightful claim for the mercy of the Lord. So this will help us to persist in the bhakti, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is depicting it with Raghunath Das Goswami's time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give which no one has given before. So let us come above our own limitations. There are many more things which I had written, but we will not go into that. Just to wind up, we just discussed the 3 things: overcoming resistance, secondly, assisting the devotees, and third, persisting in this situation with the 3 external and internal reasons of Mahaprabhu's appearance. Thank you for your patient hearing. Any comments who wants to add or clarify? Swam Prakash about anything else? Can you please add?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, what is Utyaha without Dairya? Dairya without Utyaha?
We could not hear that part.
Yes. I had a question. You mentioned about increasing the faith in the superiors that they are our well-wishers. Sometimes we become busy in some other things, so many things, and these things, main aspects, gets ignored. So how to revive them back? Yeah, very good question. Very practical question. So that is how we have to see. It is very important. First of all, first we need to understand the importance of having this good relation, and because unless the relationship with superiors is not good, or with equals, anybody, then in their good instructions we will not have faith. We will not be able to execute it. So we need to see that a priest is not famous in his own town. You know, Vaishnav tells that. That is why I keep calling other speakers also, because it requires a very high character from a leader's perspective to always be inspiring for the people in the same temple. That is why one of the reasons why one of the sannyasis, our His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj tells, Vaishnav, you should stay in Pune only. Gaurang, you should stay in GV only. Why? Because everybody knows you're in and out. So if you really want to make some difference, your character has to be going up. You cannot survive there unless you grow up in your character. So he wants them to grow, and so this will be your main base. From here, whatever service you want, you can do. So it requires, and at the same time, what I have heard from my superiors, that we have a idealistic view towards our superiors. Oh, we should be a pure devotee like him. And then when there are regular interactions, then that is why many devotees left Srila Prabhupada's association also, finding faults in Prabhupada, seeing him as an ordinary person. So etiquettes are the one barrier which can help us to maintain a healthy distance between us and superiors. Whatever happens, maintain good etiquettes. Hear their glories from others. Because we are in the same group, but there are others. You know, when a senior goes to another temple, he is so warmly welcomed. There are devotees wanting to ask questions. Then by seeing them with you, he is my superior and I am not hearing from him, but see, these devotees are so nicely hearing from them. So we will again get respect back by hearing the glories of our superiors from others, which we have to do a conscious endeavor. And one is that. Second, as I told, that our idealistic view from them should be that they are not pure devotees, the superiors. They are also practicing, but they are at 55% in the journey. We are at 25%. So at least they are qualified to take us to 55. They must not be able to take us to 100, but they will be at least able to take us to 55. So unless we don't, and regularly hearing from them, you know, that because if we want to serve them, we need to hear from them. If the relationship remains managerial, then there is tendency to come that we will not be able to feel for them. So always keep hearing spiritual side. Once I was discussing with His Grace Sundar Shyam Prabhu and asking that, Prabhuji, sometimes many devotees feel little difficult, you know, with some seniors to deal, and how you are able to manage and go on in ashram for long period of time. So he told me this, which was very helpful to me. And I always focus on the spiritual aspect of the person, and I neglect the material side. So when we do this, our relationships, our respect for them will be maintained, and we need to consciously do this. It is okay if he has some material aspect, I don't bother, but I get so much from a spiritual side. When we keep focusing on this, then we'll be able to see that we will be able to feel for them, we'll be able to serve them, and we'll be able to continue maintaining at least good relation. Very thick, very intimate relationship with even seniors will be very few. We will not have many. It will be very few. So with that understanding, we should always feel our past also. Prabhupada says that we should be grateful by seeing where we were before coming and how this input of seniors has helped me to come here. So again and again, seeing our past will reinstate that relationship and that feeling which we might have apparently lost in the process of serving them only. Does it help? Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanwas Pranams. Can you hear us online?
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Okay, Hare Krishna devotees, it looks like they were not able to hear us. So, Prabhu, I see you have posted a question, so I think you'll have to take it up with him.
Sachi Sutashkam. Oh, what to do, bro? Should answer him. We should leave.
Krishna Guruji, wonderful class. I have one question. We read in scriptures that Lord resides in everybody's heart and know their thinking, feeling, desires, etc. Similarly, Lord also resides in the heart of Srimati Radharani and other pure devotees. Hence, he would know the extent of happiness enjoyed by devotees when they perform devotional service. How to understand the internal reason that Lord Chaitanya appeared to experience the bliss of Srimati Radharani?
Okay. Good question. Whatever I know, I will share. Maybe others can help me. So we discussed the verse that Radha Rani is expansion of Krishna. They are not different, Radha and Krishna. So it is not that she is an Jiva Tattva or even she is a direct expansion. She is not a separated expansion. So they are one only the bodies are two. So it is the wonderness of Krishna that he is expanding himself in such a way that he is not able to understand that what the other expansion is feeling. So this is literally inconceivable. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to make us understand that we are one with the Lord, at the same time we are different. So this two dual aspects of Srimati Radharani and Krishna are one at the same time and different, sometimes become difficult for us to understand that how Radharani's love is not being understood by Krishna. Because there is independence, as it is said, although we are qualitatively same with the Lord, Jiva, but we have got free will. Similarly, although Krishna is one or he is only expanded, but there is a freedom. It is an expansion of Krishna. So there is a different qualitative nature which is there of servitude. Like Krishna also expands as Balram, but he is a servant God. He is not fully one with Krishna, but he is a servitude. He represents Godhead of servitude, servant God. So he's always assisting Krishna. So the mood is in that way of Balramji. Similarly, Radharani's mood is that, and that whether Paramatma is there. One question was asked by me, some student, that is Paramatma there in the spiritual world, the entities of the spiritual world. So I told I am not sure whether it is there or not. But what is the understanding? Why Paramatma is there here? He is guiding us, at least for the conditioned souls. He is there to take care of us, to guide us. So he is there in spiritual world. He is there here also. But especially his Mattaha Smritir Jnanam Apohanam cha. I give you remembrance, forgetfulness in the form of Paramatma. But in spiritual world, there is no need of remembrance or forgetfulness. Already the people are aware of that. So I am not sure about this Paramatma being there in the spiritual entities, because they are right in front of the Lord. They are always conscious of the Lord. So in that way, it is little difficult to understand. But if we read purports of Prabhupada, then in this inconceivable potency, we understand that Lord doesn't know with the free will which he gives to all the jivas. So this was my limited understanding. I request other devotees, Gaurchandra Gopinath or Swayambara can help the devotees. I hope you understood the question, no? How, although Paramatma is there in Radharani's heart, but still Krishna doesn't know her happiness. Sorry, maybe you can add. Mike, you can.
As anybody want to understand that it is mainly the free will of the living entity. For example, even in the material world, when somebody says that the destination is fixed, the destination or certain things are fixed in the sense that once when one takes the ticket from Bangalore to Bombay, going to the Bombay is fixed, but in between what he does is still left to the living entity. So that way, Krishna never takes up the free will of any living entity. And as it says, Mamai Vamsha Jivaloke, although the amshas, but still that free will is there. The same way, Radharani is expansion of Krishna, but still there is free will with Radharani, how she want to express her love towards Krishna, either by becoming angry at times or at times becoming very jovial and serving, sometimes becoming angry also, that although the she's angry, but her becoming angry pleases Krishna, so she becomes. So that way, in one sense, that Krishna doesn't know why they are doing all these things, but ultimately, what is in me, what is there in me, because of which they are getting so much attracted. To experience that, Krishna manifest as Gauranga Mati.
Thank you. We'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that was a wonderful session that we had, even though we were not able to interact much, but because of some limitation, the communication. But yeah, we have the darshan of the deities now. So we can end by offering pranams to all the Vaishnavas. Jagannath Baldev Sudaramai ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. So I'll end the session now. So thank you all.